It finishes Spurs 2, Liverpool 1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but that doesn't tell half the story of this game. Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp were robbed in broad daylight. Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp had a result stolen from them in broad daylight by inept, corrupt, dodgy officiating. I am not going to back down on this. Liverpool have been shafted in broad daylight by Simon Hooper yet again. The same inept official that sent off Alexis McAllister incorrectly was at it again. The same official gave a red card to Curtis Jones for a nothing challenge. The same officials didn't draw lines for a perfectly valid goal that was ruled out for offside, only for nobody got to see the decision. This has been a robbery. I have nothing against Spurs, their fans, the manager or their players. But today, my friends, a brave Liverpool performance of 9 men nearly did the unthinkable. Heartache at the end for Joel Matip, and I can't fault any of them. I have not a bad word to say about any of our players today. They fought with heart and courage, and they were robbed. The end of the game is the end of the game. That was heartache, that was unfortunate. But to see what happened, to see how we were shafted, and to see how the eyes of the world were on the Premier League in a week, I should add, where Barcelona are in court in Spain for bribery. The English game at 5:30 on a Saturday night, with the eyes of the world watching, a glorious game between two top sides, was destroyed by corrupt officials again. Again. And I ask you, if you are indeed a football fan, how can you stomach that? I get it. Liverpool lost, you find it funny. But push that aside and ask yourself, is that right? Is that fair? Is that just? The answer is unequivocally no, it is not. Journalists need to do their damn job now and speak up and call out this corruption for what it is. Because it's my club this week and it hurts. It'll be your club next week and it will hurt you. And you'll want the backup. You'll want people to say what they've seen with their own eyes. I'm going to show you the VAR incident that was called offside with lines. How is that offside? Anybody, please tell me how that is offside. Perfectly valid goal, ruled out, robbed, stolen, again. And no lines to be had. No VAR lines all of a sudden were available. Very, very convenient. Simon Hooper is the same little omadon, the same little bollocks that robbed us of a red card with McAllister that was overturned. Liverpool Football Club have topped the Fair League table for 5 consecutive years under Klopp. Yet somehow we've had 4 red cards in 7 games. It is not that we're unlucky. It is not that we're just salty. We are seeing corruption play out in front of our eyes week after week. This is unacceptable. You deserve better. Today was a freak result which will not break our season. Liverpool were exceptional when they went out to 10 men, especially 9, said, and we move on. Your networking said, how can I send you a legit photo of the lines for the goal? I've got lines. I've got multiple variants of the lines at my disposal here, mate, being sent to me. I can take Liverpool being beaten. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen enough. But it is very difficult to stomach when your boys have given everything and at every possible opportunity, at every debatable or every decision that Simon Hooper had to make went against us. Now, again, I'm going to say, look at the VAR for the red card. Whatever you think of me or Liverpool, look at what happened. The referee went over, and what was the referee greeted with when he was at the monitor? He was greeted with a still image of the worst possible part of the Curtis Jones challenge after the bit where he'd rolled the top of the ball. He was greeted with an image that looked like Curtis Jones went in to intentionally hurt Bissouma. Then what happened? They replayed it in slow motion. Why do you need to look at it in slow motion? If it's an obvious red card, show it in real time, let the referee make up his mind. The fact that he looked at that in slow motion, seeing Curtis Jones have no control of his action because the ball rolls over his foot on the top of the ball into the player, and yet still goes red. Same referee that sent off McAllister. That was overturned. Then we score a perfectly good goal. And what happened there? All of a sudden the lines weren't available. All of a sudden VAR didn't have the lines for the very obviously clear goal that Liverpool scored. That is not unlucky. That is blatant cheating. Jota red was worse. First yellow was a joke. The dude trips himself. And then in the space of 2 minutes, Simon Hooper couldn't get the cards out quick enough. How many Liverpool players got booked in that game? 10? Was it a dirty game? It's absolute lunacy. Carragher speaking up against the PGMOL. We need more from these pundits, journalists. Klopp should never ever... We shouldn't have to deal with this. Remember, they chose not to have the automated offside technology. Howard Webb and his band of merry little idiots decided against any other technology because they didn't want the impact and the ability of their officials to alter games taken away from them with technology. So instead, we get, whoopsies, no lines. No automated system which would have told us clearly if it was offside or not. It works in the Champions League. But Howard Webb and his band of merry morons decide that they're too good to have technology. And this is what we get. This is what we get. It's an embarrassment to the best league in the world. Liverpool shown today why we were on it. Best team in the league. No other team were able to hold on that long. It's a disgrace. I also want to say a thank you to the people who have shown that they give a damn about the sport. Because we've been inundated with United fans, with Arsenal fans, with City fans, with Evertonians coming into our chat to say that they stand with us on this. And I cannot thank you enough for that. Because your sport is being destroyed in front of your eyes. The product that you, your families, pay a lot to watch, pay a lot to consume, we're being robbed. These officials are dictating the outcomes of events, and it needs to stop. Can I just put it out there? Spurs are overrated as fuck. They won't last. Their players are celebrating. That's an embarrassment. That's their trophy, said Avicii UK. Look, I don't want to say anything really against the Spurs players or management. Do I find it a bit cringy that they celebrated? Well, yeah, but they're Spurs. They don't win at them. Let them have it. It wasn't about them today. Spurs didn't make the decisions. Spurs didn't forget to look at the offside. Spurs didn't send the players off. The referee's the one that lost that game for Liverpool today. And my heart goes out to Joel Matip. What could he have done? They're exhausted. They fought like heroes to stay in that game. They played with a passion that I can only respect. I have nothing but admiration for those men in red today. For our manager, for our coaching staff, for our supporters, and to the players on the pitch. Nothing but admiration. But as a football fan, as somebody who has dedicated my life to this game from the age of 7 to now, to see that and be told that you're being salty, being told by idiots that what I've seen with my own eyes isn't right, that's not good enough. Are you still watching Match of the Day naked? Maybe in the boxers now, mate. Maybe just in the boxers. Hard to take when you were robbed, said 87 Unicorn. I agree. Football used to be an art, now it's a joke, said Thomas Lafferty. Matip did so well. Look, I have nothing but admiration for our players. I have nothing but kindness and love for them, for what they did today. They fought like warriors. Couldn't have given any more for the cause. And what happened at the end was just unlucky. Joel Matip played really well. I'm not going in on any of our boys for that. That was just heartbreaking stuff at the end. Happens. That's football. That's genuine. That can happen. But the rest of it? Connor Garrity said, "Hi, hello, Man United fan here. VAR is so crap the way it's run. UEFA adopted technology. It's the way it should be done, and offside calls like that are disgraceful." Exactly, mate. The technology's there. We see it in the Champions League. Automated technology exists. The Premier League, again, chose to not take the technology. When every other league in Europe adopted VAR in the first place, the Premier League decided they knew better and waited a year. Now, they've again decided, ask yourself why they've gone against the automated offside technology. Ask why. Because they want their referees to have a dictation over the game. They want the referees to have an influence over football. Well, unfortunately, they're either very, very, very bad at their job or they're corrupt. It's one or the other. I'm leaning very heavily to the second part. Because I, as I said, have watched football since I was a child. I have played it all the way through. I know the game. I know what I see. And I cannot take that red card. I can't accept it because it's a nonsense. When you have Gary Neville saying on TV that it wasn't a red card, somehow I'm supposed to take with a straight face that referee went to the monitor, and again, he wasn't greeted with a rewinding of the system. He was greeted with a still image of the very, 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 very worst part of the challenge on Basuma. And they held it there for about 5 seconds. Then they rewound it in slow motion rather than showing the ref it in full time. Everything looked infinitely more purposeful in slow motion. Why are we looking at replays in slow motion? If you need to look that closely, then clearly it isn't an obvious mistake, is it? If you minutely intersect every little aspect of it, looking for reasons to destroy the game, you'll find one. Craig, please talk about Jota's first yellow card. Apparently there was no contact. It looked like the dude clipped himself. And Hooper got the yellow out. The second one, I'm okay with the second yellow for Jota. I feel like that's a justifiable yellow. What I'm unwilling to accept is that first red card and the cheating for our goal that was ruled out. That I can't back down on, and I won't back down on. Corrupt like Barcelona did with officials, said Conor Garrity. Imagine, mate, in a week where Barcelona have been put up in front of the Spanish courts for potential bribery charges, the eyes of the world are on the beautiful game. It is a top of the table, glorious Saturday night clash in the Premier League. 5:30, peak viewing time. The eyes of the world are on Sky and are on the Premier League. And what have we seen? Cheating. We have seen the referees and VAR that were brought in to remove mistakes from the game once again dictate the outcome of a game of football. It happens week after week to team after team, And instead of people saying for a second, hang on, right, it's funny Liverpool lost, but does he have a point? Instead of saying that, we get the childish aspect of, salty, get over it. I can't get over it because it's corruption. And it's my team now. But it will be your team next week. And it will be somebody else's team the week after. And you'll be met with the same childish attitude that I get when you know I'm right. And I will be behind you and backing you when it happens to you. Because I honestly care about the sport. And this is unacceptable. How long are we going to allow it to happen? I believe they'll also make us even stronger. I agree. And again, I've nothing but admiration, respect for our boys. They played like warriors today and they couldn't have fought any harder. The effort they put in, the ground they were covering, putting their bodies on the line, it was awe-inspiring stuff to watch. They dug in, they tried, and what happened at the end, it's heartache. But that's football. You got to accept that. That happens. Matip was unlucky. You could see how hurt he was. I mean, that part, look, that's it. Question is, said Ben, does this cost us at the end of the season? I guess time will tell that, mate. But I find this very hard to take. I do. I mean, I'm trying not to get cancelled. I'm trying not to have our channel removed from YouTube, but what I really want to say. But I just hope that the media step up and that those that have an influence on the game, that those that can have their voices really heard, speak out about this, because it's not an accident. It's not just unlucky. It's repetitive. And it'll happen to another team next week. And it probably happened earlier on today as well. And it's over and over and over again. As a United fan, let me say you got robbed today. Terrible refereeing. You'll come back stronger. Much love from Belfast, said an Irish Penguin. Appreciate your support. Appreciate your honesty. Mate, thank you. And yeah, look, I believe we will come again. So, Klopp was speaking. Here's some quotes. Said, Curtis steps his foot on the ball and rolls his legs. Whatever you do with that, it's not a bad tackle. He stepped on the ball, stops full throttle on the ball and goes over the ball. I never saw a more unfair game. First yellow for Jota was never a yellow card. The only thing he didn't get today, other than the decisions, is the result. Klopp on the team said every one of them are man mountains. On the offside, he said it's not offside, never. They're drawing their lines wrong. Klopp on Diaz said someone opened their smartphone in the first half. We saw on Instagram, on Twitter, exactly, it was onside. Klopp said, today is a proper knock. We would have celebrated the point like I don't know. We have won no point. And also Klopp went on to say, for you, it's funny. For me, it's expensive. Exactly. If you care about football, if you care about the product, you will speak up. Because that wasn't an accident. That was, at worst, an agenda. At best, an agenda. At worst, sinister. What an emotional night. Officiating in the Premier League is a joke. I despise the way the game is run in England. Fair play to the refs. They showed so much heart. Fair play to the lads, they showed so much heart. Sean Thornton, thank you for your super chat, said United fan here in Liverpool were robbed. Spurs getting decisions all year as well as Arsenal. Ange's the darling of the press and gets his decisions. Again, I'm not trying to... I agree with what you've said about the officials, but I'm not trying to say Spurs played any part in this. You know, I've nothing against Spurs, their manager, their players or their fans. Nothing at all. But my heart is broken as a football fan today. Hooper was the ref who denied Wolves the obvious penalty against United. Was he? Was that him as well? So now, if that is him, and I'm taking you at your word, we have Hooper denying that one. We have Hooper sending McAllister off that was rescinded. And we have Hooper sending off Jones for a best of yellow. Josh gifted memberships. Thank you, Josh. Sky going over the offside after the break. Yeah, exactly. Showed it, didn't talk about it, went straight back to the second half. Late, I should add. Hooper was the match for the United one as well. Honestly, I don't know what else to say. Because whatever I say, whatever Jurgen says, we're just going to be called salty and undermined by people who think we just have, we can't accept a defeat. I've been around sport my entire life. I'm a proper sports person. I've no problem shaking someone's hand or acknowledging when we're beaten. None. But you can't tell me we weren't robbed. Intentionally robbed. Paul Hammer, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC. It's like Man City won and the FA and officials thought, nope, disgusting officiating today. I can't say too much. I'm so pissed, said Justin. Look, it was set up for us today. City lost away against Wolves. United lost at home against Palace. And we had a chance in a very hard game that you just wanted fairness. You wanted the game to pan itself out, and we wanted to be speaking about the boys on the pitch afterwards. And if Spurs beat us 2-1, fair enough. But we were robbed. Absolutely stonewall, 100%, no debate, robbed. Look at the incidents. First red card, bullshit. Second red card, second yellow should have happened, yes. First yellow, dude tripped himself and Jota gets a booking. Then we have a goal, a perfectly good goal, ruled out for offside without seeing any of the lines. Without seeing a replay with the lines. Just told it was offside when we can see with our own eyes he's clearly onside. It's not unlucky. It's not salty. It's blatantly cheating. Hooper should be leaving that in handcuffs tonight. Because Howard Webb, the PGMOL and the FA need to get their finger out and ask themselves, do they care about the sport? Because they're allowing Man City to make a mockery of the league. 115 charges for 4.5 years. What do they do? What do they actually fucking do to look after the sport? These frauds at UEFA, FIFA and the FA, what do you actually do? Because you're supposed to be the custodians of the game. You're supposed to look after it for the next generation. You're supposed to enforce the beliefs of the beautiful sport at its best. And you don't. Darren said, miss my super chat. Sorry, Darren, mate. Let me see if I can find it, bud. One sec, pal. I'm going to grab it from down here. Well said, Craig. Agree with every word you've said. A disgrace from the officials. VAR has just made things worse. Corruption or incompetence. Great spear from the boys. So unlucky to lose. Thank you, mate. I just find it very hard to take that. Like, I've seen Liverpool lose many games of football, and it always hurts. But the way it happened, tough one to take. Brap Attack, thank you, mate. And look, do hit the subscribe button, by the way, if you're new to our channel. Appreciate your support, appreciate you being here with us. Obviously, I wish it was under better circumstances from my perspective. But it's our game that's been taken over and corrupted by incompetent assholes. Reds played incredible, said Malik. I agree. I thought we were unbelievable today. And I'm going to be doing my player ratings video in a little bit. And, you know, I hope you guys can tune in for that, because I'm going to be as optimistic and as supportive of those boys as I can be, because I feel nothing but pride in that Liverpool performance today. Alisson was magnificent. My heart goes out to Joel Matip for the OG at the end. They were all colossuses out there. Kim said, you missed my super chat again. I mean, I'm trying my best, Kim. I mean, you may or may not notice I'm a bit emotional. And when I'm speaking, I'm obviously not reading. So I do apologise. I will find it. But I don't do it intentionally. The man was obviously bribed, said Kim. I mean, there you go. I found it. I don't even know what to say about it. If I say what I truly want to say, I won't be on YouTube next week because the channel will be closed down. But you've seen it for yourself. I'm looking forward to hearing what Sky, Match of the Day, my fellow Liverpool fan channels and podcasts have to say about this, because it's going beyond the joke, and it's us this week. It might be United next week, could be Arsenal 2 weeks down the line. You'll all get shafted. You'll all be told you're salty, but you'll all be right in the fact that you are shafted. Menik said the performance was sublime. The lads can go back with their heads held high. I'm going to go record my player ratings video, my friends. Hope you guys can tune in for it. I'll see you tomorrow as well. Be back for a squad battle live show tomorrow night. All I can say again is thank you to people who've come in with an open mind. People who've been honest in their assessment of what they've seen in front of them. So yeah, thank you for your support. Do hit the subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and keep an eye out for the player ratings video. I'm gonna go scream into the night. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for your support. Spurs 2, Liverpool 1. That's how it finished at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I'll leave you guys to make up your own minds about the referee.